Hello, good morning. This is Darla Ledoux, and we are doing a drawing today celebrating my book launch, Shift the Field. Guys, it was #1 in several categories in the US and also in one in Canada. Today we are going for the UK, hitting the charts in the UK, and I'm gonna share a little bit about that because this morning I was interviewed by Kate Wolf, and Kate has a program called Mesmerizing Messaging, and I was interviewed in her Facebook group over there. If you don't know Kate, get to know her. The interview was really awesome. She really brought a lot of vulnerability to the conversation, and we spoke about the coaching industry in a lot of different ways and things that we've learned. So definitely check that out. And I'm going to share a little bit in continuation of that conversation with Kate this morning. So as I've been doing this today, I have 4 drawings again today. And I am going to share a little nugget from Shift the Field, and then I'm going to do a drawing. And actually, let me tell you what we're drawing for at this hour. It is a ticket to Shift the Field Live. It is a 3-day event where we are applying the concepts from this book into your life and into your business. It is happening May 20th to 22nd. Good morning, Wendy. And we are also gifting a sticker that says I am sourced. So that's our drawing for today. Stick with me throughout the week. Let me tell you how to get in the drawing, and then I'm going to share a little secret. So in the drawing, to get in the drawing, you can go to shiftthefield.com, or if you're someone that one of my affiliates has sent you a link, click their link. You go there and you can learn about the book and decide if you want to buy it. If you're not sure, down at the very bottom, you can put in your name and email and get 3 sample chapters free. So that's one option. If you know you want to buy the book, you can click on over to Amazon, buy the book, come back to the page and put in your name, your email, and your receipt number from Amazon, and you will get my Unlock Your Magic book bundle, which is a couple of free trainings, 3 free trainings, a PDF of the book, and a discount on Shift the Field Live. And by the way, that works if you buy the hard copy of the book or the ebook, the Kindle. Although we're really the #1s are tracked separate. So if you can, buy the hard copy. And that's how you get entered into these drawings that I'm doing. We still have, about 10 more drawings this week. So, or even more, sorry. Yeah, a lot more. So get yourself entered. That's where we pull the names from, all the people who have claimed their gift bundle. So with that, I want to speak to what Kate and I talked about this morning. And Kate, if you're here, if you happen to be here, comment, because I'll pull you on. We can have a chat about that. Wendy's book will be here today. Take a picture of yourself with your book and post it. We are talking about having another drawing for people who post pictures with their books. So do that. But this conversation, it kind of came up in a few different ways. So one of the things that this book will help with, this is for coaches, consultants, creatives, healers, therapists, service-based professionals who want to deliver transformation in their work, or you already do, and you want it to be easier and lighter. It teaches a structure to help you know where your client is in their transformational process, to help you know what kind of things do you share in your marketing and what kind of things do you save for your client work. And most importantly, it helps you know the timing to bring truth to the table. And so we talked a little bit about, bringing truth, dropping a truth bomb on someone who's not ready to receive it, and the energetic impact of that, as compared to when someone is in the appropriate place in their transformation to receive the truth. So sometimes so this is all about timing. And I was telling Kate, it's so great that I have this structure that helps me with timing, because timing is not my best gift. And for a lot of people who see truth, a lot of times we can see the truth projected out, for over time. And so timing may not be your best gift. In other words, you may try to do too much. You may beat yourself up thinking you're not doing enough. Or if you rest, you might worry like, oh my gosh, there's so much to be done. Timing may not be your best gift. This book gives you a timing that you can relax into, where you're not trying to rush things. And so in this conversation with Kate, we spoke about a particular phenomenon, and highly recommend getting in her group so you can hear this conversation directly. But we spoke about, when someone kind of in passing pops into your world and says, well, here's the truth, right? But maybe you're not in a place to receive it. Maybe you haven't asked for it. Maybe you haven't given consent. And it might throw you off balance. Now, we can do this sometimes just with friends, right? We talked a little bit about that, when you're giving good advice to someone who doesn't want to hear it, or someone's trying to give you good advice and you're not ready. But then in the space of coaching and transformation, it can happen where, like, the person on stage, right, decides to give you a truth that you're not ready for, or give someone a truth. In this example, it was like kind of something being witnessed, and where now we can't know, right, what is appropriate for that person, and what the person on stage is getting, and what that relationship dynamic is. So we should never judge someone else's transformation, right? And it can be really, really popular in this space to position yourself as having truths that other people don't. And like, I'm just going to tell you about yourself. And I may be totally right. It may be totally intuitive. It may be totally right. But it may be just my ego is saying, this is how you should be. Or, if you've ever been told that won't sell, right? Or people don't want that. Right. And that person telling you that is positioning themselves then to have the answer to the thing people do want. And then you pay them for that answer. Right. Energetically, what's happening here is we're creating this disempowerment energy in this relationship. And so, yeah, telling someone this is what you should be doing or selling, or this is who you are, or this is what's true that you don't see. And by the way, now pay me so I can tell you more of what's true that you don't see, creates this unhealthy dynamic, right? Where that person is now codependent with you and you're codependent with them. So in this book, there's a few places where I talk about this. So there's 3 stages of the anatomy of a transformation. The second is called the sourced experience. And within the sourced experience, we are the first stage is release, and it's all about releasing control. And there's a section in here called release control, don't give up your power. And often what people will do, and practitioners sometimes are totally willing to take the power, right? And then as a client, I have done this as a client. Throw up my hands and say, okay, well, you know better. Just tell me what to do, right? But that's not healthy. I've had to work to take my own sourced magic back, my own discernment of my inner knowing, right? But I've done that. I've given that away. So I talk about this and I define what power is in a way that for me has been life-changing to really own this definition. The second place I talk about it is when we are in a place to receive truth, we see a new truth, we reveal something, the thing that's been keeping us stuck becomes apparent to us, right? The next stage is validation. And because we've often been violated at the hands of others, we need to be validated by someone outside of ourselves. Like ultimately, we want to be able to self-validate, to be able to hear what's true and go, yes, and affirm ourselves, right? And not have to look for that outside of ourselves, but we've been violated outside of ourselves. So we need other humans for our healing. But what can happen then is we can become where we need someone else to validate us. So as the coach or the healer, oh, I see it's 11:11. Yay. As the coach or the healer, we need to remember we are validating that person's experience. We're not validating our preference, right? Like, oh yeah, that makes sense to me. I approve of you. I agree with you, therefore you're valid. We're simply holding the space for that person to be loved and accepted with all of who they are, right? And that's that true validation. So there's a section called the validation paradox where it's like, okay, we need people to validate us, but ultimately we don't want to need people to validate us. And we explore what that means. So as a practitioner, thank you, Kelly. As a practitioner, we want to understand this so we're not unknowingly, I know nobody here would be knowingly going, let me, take people's power. But we can do it unknowingly. And sometimes we can do it unknowingly because it's just the water that we swim in as we're coming up in this industry. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of money being made by someone saying, you know better than me, fix me, help me. And so as a sourced leader, we want to be clean and clear within ourselves and understand these principles so we're not, taking responsibility for our clients, or we're not, allowing that unhealthy exchange of energy to happen. So again, I went deeper with this in conversation with Kate Wolf this morning, get to know her, and I'm going to do a drawing. So the first drawing is for a ticket to Shift the Field Live. Shift the Field Live is happening on, it is happening May 20th. I'm going to put a link in the chat, actually, just so people, if you are curious about the event. And if you if you don't win, but if you purchase the book, you actually get a discount on the event. So really cool. We're literally going to be practicing and applying some of these principles. We're going to play with the energy in your relationships with your clients, within yourself, and we're actually going to use the anatomy of a transformation that I teach on your business as if it were a client. So it's really fun. I've done this and it has made a world of difference. So with that, I am going to share my screen and we will pick that first winner. Put your good vibes out if you are wanting to win the ticket to Shift the Field. Veronica, I see that it's been a default for me and continue to work on it. Is the default been taking responsibility? I'm curious about that. Cynthia McGrath has won a ticket to Shift the Field Live. Amazing. Yay, I know Cynthia. Cindy says she's already signed up for the retreat. She can't wait. So Cindy and Cynthia will have two. Amazing. And then the next one is a sticker. Just a little fun in the mail, an I Am Sourced sticker. And we are going to spin here. Kelly says the bonuses with the book are amazing. Yes, and if you guys, if you connected with me through someone else's promotion of the book, go get your gifts on their page. Veronica. I don't know if it's Veronica Worth or if it's a different Veronica, but if it is Veronica, Yay! I mean, it is a Veronica, so yay, Veronica. And you will receive, we'll confirm which Veronica, but you'll receive one of these in the mail. Awesome. Yeah, Veronica, I'm seeing that. I'm used to commiserating as a way to validate. Yeah, so validation is so different than commiserating. I love that you said that. And when you understand the structure, it's like we can see, you know, it's not that there's no place for, oh, I get it, I've been there, I have that too, like, you know, but that's called friends. Right? We do that with friends. And it doesn't mean like you have to pretend like you've never been through something. If you have, right, you can share your own story, but it's not commiserating. There's an energy where it's like, I'm going to get in the boat with you and be where you are when we're in commiserating versus that space holding, right? It's like, even though our story is so important in our marketing and our business and why we do what we do and why we care about this, in general, in this process, it's like so much less about us than we might think. And even Kate and I spoke about this morning too. We don't even need to figure anything out, right? And when we really clear our own field and we're in a sourced energy, it's like we're totally trusting that our intuitive guidance will show up right on time. When we're not in that, like I know for me early on in my business, I was in my head figuring out like what's going on with this person and what's the insight and right? But when we are operating with this supportive structure, we know that truth will come in right on time. And we don't have to figure it out. And it might come through to us intuitively as the guide, right? And it might come through because we've asked really great questions that we just know to ask in the moment. And it might come through to the client, and you might just simply be a witness and you're holding space, and they get the intuitive knowing, right? But when we're, you know, in our ego and it's about us, we think we have to figure out an answer. And you know, like I always say, all coaching is helpful. All coaching is good, in my opinion. And the more we can relax into this structure, the more we're doing really empowered coaching, and the more we trust the client to get their answer, the less we're holding responsibility for things, and the easier our life becomes. Like a phrase that I've been using a lot is work lighter as a light worker. So when we can really lean into this structure and know where we are and where our client is and how this relationship is working, the less work we actually do. I can actually see that it's a way of going to their default energy. Yeah, rather than holding that higher energy level. Yeah, commiserating is like, let me get in your default with you, you poor thing. I mean, it can be, right? Yeah, so, you know, someone can be in there, we can hold space for it. But as soon as we energetically go there and we get in that boat with them, now we're not holding the space that they need us to hold. Thank you so much for the comments and for being here live. Yes, work lighter as a light worker. Exactly. If we're burned out because we're holding responsibility for all the things, then we can't spread our light in the way that we really need to. And one other thing, I think I'm going to make a post about this. One of the things I noticed I don't know why this would be surprising, but in screenshotting the bestsellers right now, you know, during our launch week, I'm really aware how few are women. And so when we think about work lighter as a light worker, it's like we need to be able to do that so that we can be showing up in places like the Amazon bestseller list and like the big stages and all the places, right? Like I know so many women authors, and I guess that's why I was surprised by how few are actually on those bestseller lists. So let's work together to shift that field as well. Awesome. Okay, I will do another drawing at 1 o'clock. Central time today. So I'll be back here and I'll share another little nugget from Shift the Field. Go to shiftthefield.com. I'm going to put this in the chat, and you'll learn how you can claim your prizes, how you can get into the next drawing by claiming your Unlock Your Magic book bundle, and then you'll be on the picker wheel in the next broadcast. Thanks so much. See you soon.